Have you ever felt like you're there, but you're not really there? When life feels too painful or overwhelming, many of us learn how to disconnect, not by choice, but for survival. We can still function, but we're cut off from our bodies, our emotions, and even our memories. In this video, we're looking at how that freeze response shows up in our adulthood, and how reconnecting with our body can help us deal with what's been shut away and begin to heal what's been shut away. Hello everybody, I'm Catriona Morten. I'm a sensory motor psychotherapist, and this is We Are Vega Therapy, where you learn to calm your body, quieten your mind, and heal from within. Let's get into it. So today we're looking at how disconnecting, dissociating, and freezing becomes a massive part of adult life. When we're growing up, if things have been too terrifying, too emotional, too painful, too chaotic, then in order to function, we have to find a way of disconnecting. And we're incredibly good at doing these things. We're not aware we're doing it. It's something that we're designed to do and we're able to do, and we do it if things are too much. We can still function, but we don't feel. We can cut off from our body and our emotions. So whatever's going on, the way that we feel about it has much less of an impact. So we can be in these awful environments, function, and it stops really going to the core of us because we're not really there. We're there, but we're not really there. We look like we're there. We can still carry on doing tasks, carrying out functions, but we're not feeling things, and we're not fully present and engaged in what we're doing. We have an amazing ability to just step back a little bit. Things might just look a little bit different, feel less, feel a bit numb. And sometimes we can have, parts of our body that are completely frozen, that we have no access to, that are just numbed out. But it can become so normal, like breathing. We're not aware of it. We might be aware that sometimes things change, or we don't feel quite right, or we might get feedback from people like, are you really here? Are you with it? Or, oh, remember what we did last week, so-and-so. No, not really. Vague memory, or even no memory. And for these people, when we've had to be there but not there, our memory is very, very fragmented. There'll be huge chunks missing, and it makes it difficult. We won't know why to recall memories, to retain things, to just have that recall and that retention of memory in the present moment, because we're not fully engaged with it. We remember things because of the emotional impact they had on us. If nothing's impacting emotionally, then nothing's going to show up. Everything's just bland. And so we're not going to remember it. And it's something that we've had to do when things have been too much. And I mean really too much. Dangerous, emotional, chaotic. This isn't something that we do if, every now and again we have a difficult time or things don't always go according to plan. That's fine. We're very resilient. We can deal with all of those things. I'm talking about when it takes you outside of your window of tolerance. When it's more than you can cope with. When it's consistent, when it's really impacting. Well, that registers as a trauma and as an attachment wound. And it goes into our amygdala and it hardwires through our nervous system, and it can be triggered. I can often tell with my clients, especially people I've been working with for a little while, I can tell when they're just a bit stepped back. It might be a kind of dullness in their eyes, or I'm just not feeling that they're there with me. And when I ask them, how do things look around right now? They will often register, they look a bit blurry, or things are a bit dull, or I can see them, but it doesn't really feel like I'm here. I can see it and I can sense it in them. And I can also tell when somebody's really disconnected from their body, because they'll be talking about things, they're saying one thing, and either there's nothing going on in the body, there's no connection, or their body is actually telling a narrative, making movements that completely fly in the face of what they're telling me, of they feel okay. I can often sense a disturbance in the nervous system, or a shutdown in the body, or a freeze, or a flight response and hypervigilance that's around, the eyes darting around the room, always checking for the door, or it being more difficult for them to look at me. There can be many different signs, and I learn to judge that and to gauge that very quickly when I'm with someone, so that I can tell them how that looks and how to spot for signs of dissociation and disconnect, because it's not like a complete takedown. When we've had to be able to function, then we disconnect in a different way, we dissociate in a different way. And we're all different, but we all have a way of doing this. When we can work out what it is that's happening in the body, what the relationship to the body is like, how they can actually start to feel things and bring things back to life, then it means that they're actually getting a sense, an understanding of what's going on and why, but actually what to do to help. Because the worst thing about when we're in these situations, things don't just shift and change. We don't just stop doing those. Those mechanisms don't just switch off when we're out of the dangerous environment. They're automatic, and they'll come on and they'll be triggered very, very quickly. And for these people, it feels like, if I say to them, can you notice that you're disconnected, or can you notice certain things about your body? And when the nervous system goes off, often the brain and your mind will start to go in overdrive. I don't know what to do. I'm having a panic. Oh my God, I don't know what's wrong with me. And we'll often look for someone to help. Often that person doesn't know how to help because they don't actually know what's going on. They might be able to talk to the head and reason, but that doesn't help the nervous system. And when we have that sense of, I don't know what to do, I don't know what's wrong, everything feels chaotic and out of control, then that spirals into everyday life. I feel like this a lot. I get this at work. I don't know what to do. And I'm constantly looking to people to help, and they're not helpful. Well, they won't, because they won't know what on earth is going on and what is really needed. And it can be very hard for those people to have any sense of themselves. I don't know how to take care of myself. If I can't quieten my nervous system, if I don't know me and what's going on, then it's very difficult. Sometimes just ordinary tasks can then become almost impossible. And we often think it's the environment and the people that are around us, without understanding my nervous system has just gone off. I am actually triggered. That's why I can't think straight. That's why these old patterns are coming up for me. I'm numbed out. I can't feel. Very often when I notice something is happening in the body, sometimes I'll get a response because the key is they haven't been taken care of properly, so they don't know how to take care of themselves. Some people will say, oh yeah, I can really feel I'm not breathing properly. And I'm like, okay. Or, yeah, I can't feel my legs, they're completely numb. Okay. Now I'm going to notice they're not looking at their legs, and they're not paying any attention to, well, what could help my breath? Or, oh yeah, my legs are numb. Oh my goodness, I wonder what I can do to help get that connection back. And it's not that they don't care, but they've not been taught to care. And the environment they grew up in meant if they cared, it would be much worse. So they've disconnected from it. So that missing piece of, oh yeah, that's wrong. I wonder what I can do about that. It doesn't click in. And it's up for me to point that out to someone. Can you notice that it's almost like that doesn't matter? It's so second nature. It's like, yeah, I notice that's the way it is, but yeah. If that's the case when they're with me, then that's going to be the case when they're on their own. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help myself. Or even, that I'm important, that this matters, that this is really important. This looking after myself right now, helping myself, helping my body regulate, that's really important. Because when they've disconnected from that, then they don't feel it doesn't matter, they're not important, their environment has taught them that, the people around them have given them that message. And because they've had to disconnect from it, it's just second nature. It's like, yeah, that's the way it is. And it's very important that we understand what we're up against. that what are the steps that would stop you being able to regulate, or you notice something and stop you from going, oh my God, that's really important. My breathing is really important. We learn first aid, ABC, airway, breathing, circulation. If I'm not breathing properly, that's really important. I need to make that number one priority. And sometimes I'll say, do a checklist so you can tell when you're dysregulated and when you've been triggered, and give yourself a set of instructions that will include, these things are important. I matter. It's important that I sort this out for myself. And any belief systems that I've formed around, I'm not important, I don't matter, nobody cares about me, so I don't care about myself. We have to be able to know what we're up against and put a different belief system, one that we're working towards, into place. We're going in the right direction, moving towards ourselves, not away from and dismissing ourselves, which has just been our old pattern. It's not that we're doing anything wrong, it's just the way that we've had to be in order to survive. We'll do anything to survive, and the body and the brain are incredibly adaptive and clever, but it's important that we learn to heal those wounds, and they happen from within. All of these things, they happen within our body. Our relationship to ourself is in our body, how we feel about ourselves. Our whole nervous system, it's going through our body. It's here that the action happens, and it's here that we have to be able to notice, pay attention, don't judge it, be really understanding and accepting of what it's doing, and listening to what helps and what doesn't help. If we're not tuned in, then we don't know if what we're doing is actually helping or hindering. So learning to notice without any sense of judgment or fear, and we're well on the way to actually being able to recognize, oh my God, I think I'm triggered. What can I notice about myself? How can I help myself? And if we have to bridge that gap between there's something wrong and I need to sort this, I can look after myself. It gives us so much more empowerment and control. It's the opposite of a sense of chaos. Instead of being overwhelmed, we feel like we know what to do suddenly. It's like, oh, now I know what to do. Even if I have to get it up on my phone and read it, I still know what to do. It's in there. Even if I have to look at a sticker I put on my fridge to remind me of what to do, then I can still do this. And it makes a huge difference. It makes us so much less vulnerable out in the world. And it stops people having too much influence and control over us, puts us back in the driving seat. So I hope that's been helpful, useful, interesting. If this resonates with you, then share it to someone who you think it might help. If you'd like to explore more about trauma, dissociation, and healing within the body, then hit subscribe, because I share weekly tools to help you slow down, tune in, and heal through the body. Because real healing doesn't start in the mind, it starts in the body. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.